sure. But what's been going on with you there, Matt, since the last time you were out and got that dub, of course?
Man, a lot. I mean, I broke my hand in my last fight, so I was out for a couple weeks, and then well, like 6 weeks. Got back to the gym, and kind of waiting for something. I thought I misunderstood my last contract. I thought I had got picked up by Top Rank, but it was I guess it was an option for them. Pretty much is what that was. It was an option, so they didn't pick up the option, but I was a little bit hurt about it, but it's okay. I guess I talked to like Brad Goodman and them, and they kind of just said that my weight division is kind of they don't really work on my weight division too much. So that's
Mhm.
I guess part of the problem. So for this fight, I'm going up. I'm going up one division. Um, so I decided to do that. Try to get more opportunity. I can still make 112 if the right opportunity presents itself. I would love to do that, but I just got to get more fights and try to stay more busy and yeah, a lot of things happened though. That last camp and the last fight, a lot of stuff just went wrong, went south, had me going through some stuff. So you guys know how boxing is. It's a roller coaster for sure, bro. So
Yeah.
and then I have my two babies and stuff that it makes it a little tougher. So I had to really sit down and think about some things for a while. But
All
I got an
right.
opportunity and let's get it done.
No, that's good stuff right there for sure. And you said Superfly, and you said this fight. So hold on. You got some fight news for us?
I will be fighting, yeah, April 12th here in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the pit. My opponent will be Ephraim Abui. He's 10-1 with 8 knockouts. I believe he had a pretty extensive amateur career as well. So
He just
hopefully,
fought Scrappy. Yeah,
yeah,
he just lost to Scrappy, but it was a good fight. He's a good fighter. He's a real good fighter. So
Okay,
yeah,
okay, that's pretty dope right there. Albuquerque, New Mexico. Hey, that's your neck of the woods as well, there, Skywalker. That's what's up.
yeah, I
That
gotta tell you
sounds
about
good.
the venue. The pit is an amazing venue for any fighter, man. We haven't had a fight in the pit in a long time. And the pit is built into the ground. It's 37 feet built into the ground. The sound echoes off the wall. Maybe the punches you'll be able to hear pretty nice in there. I know the crowd, the support you're gonna get from inside the pit is gonna be amazing, Matt. How do you feel fighting in the pit, man? Of all places, man, it's gonna be the best venue that you fought in.
bro. Hearing that the fight was gonna be at the pit, that was like music to my ears. That was like one of the things that made me like, okay, let's do this. The last person to fight at the pit was Johnny Tapia. I believe he won a
Oh
title there,
wow.
and um, hasn't happened since. So it's a great opportunity, a big venue, and the cool thing is that the New Mexico Lobos are doing great as far as basketball, and so it's hype right now. The pit is hype right now. It fits about I believe 16,000 people, so that's good. We'll
Yeah.
try to get it sold out. That's gonna be tough, but we'll try to get it sold out.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Hey, and Johnny Tapia, wow, the connection is there. Of course, you could say it's
Right.
destined in some sense.
Heck yeah, heck yeah.
So how's training going for your next fight now?
It's going good, man. I work hard. I always work hard. I leave no rocks unturned or no. I work my butt off. So I'm working really hard. I'm getting some southpaw work. I'll be out in Vegas a couple times to get some sparring with southpaws and because I'm fighting a southpaw. So we'll get all that done. We'll see.
Right, right.
Nice with you. With you just coming off of injury and all of that. What sort of do you have like some special gloves that you use to train with in order to protect your hands so that you don't injure it again prior to the fight?
Mm, not really. My hand feels pretty good. I mean, more in the like when it gets cold outside and stuff, I can feel it a little bit. Like it's just a little bit, tender. But like as far as hitting the bags, I'm hitting them without a problem. I'm sparring without a problem. I mean, my hand feels good. I think the biggest thing was I'm working more on making sure I'm landing with that front knuckle. Because I mean I pretty much got a boxer's fracture and I think I hit him with like um my pinky knuckle. So that's one of the changes that we're making is focusing on landing that knuckle correctly and we'll maybe be able to put some more lights out with that knuckle too.
Okay. Yeah. So I would assume that you probably start having some custom gloves going forward, right?
We'll look into it. I mean, for this fight, Venom is the main sponsor for the gloves. So I believe all fighters that are on the card have to fight in Venom gloves. I've never tried them before, so I'm having them send me some so I could check them out and see how that works. But yeah, we have to fight in Venom. we'll wrap my hand extra. We'll be extra careful with the wrap. Make sure the wrap is real good and tight, and we'll just see how it goes, man.
Yeah, I've never broken anything. I don't know if others have or whatever, but yeah, I've heard from others. They said like one of the things is just getting over that point of like, okay, well, I feel comfortable and I no longer think about it. Kind of at that stage.
Yeah, I feel good, man. I'm throwing my right hand hard. I think harder
Oh,
than I have before, and it feels fine. Like I said, just in the cold, like it's like not hurting when I throw it or nothing, just like a constant kind of ache, I guess, when it's real cold outside. But we're fighting in April. It ain't gonna be cold out there, so I think
Yeah.
we're gonna be all right.
Right, that's what I wanted to ask about the temperature out there. It's in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Right now in Philly, it could be hopefully it'll reach 60 degrees next week. But right now it's like 30 degrees. What's the weather like now, and what are you projected to be by the time you fight in April?
Bro, the weather here is like women. They're so unpredictable. It's crazy. You never know what you're gonna get. So, but April's usually pretty nice. I mean, you'll probably have a little bit of wind and stuff, but it should be. What do you think, Skywalker, in the 70s?
April's good, huh, babe? It rains. We might get April showers. You know what I'm saying? But
But it's not too cold.
it's not too cold. We're high elevation, Tim. So I suggest trying to get here a couple days early just to acclimate to your breathing.
I don't know what you talking about.
we're mile high, bro. We're mile high elevation, so air's a lot.
Yeah, it's like
clearer,
fighting in Denver, pretty much.
Yeah.
Trying to
You
come
can
out here
talk
a little
about
early.
college
And,
teams when they come play the UNM Lobos. They have a hard time, bro. They have a hard time breathing. They get winded right away when they come here and play.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll talk more about that.
Yeah. Tim doesn't have to worry about that for sure.
Yeah.
So.
We'll talk more about that another time. But it should be a good event, man. What is this streaming on?
it's on the poster. I forget what it's called.
Is it Radiant?
No, it's live.
Oh, okay. I know
Live.
before. Remember, your fight was going to be on Radiant, Tim, the one that I bought. Remember?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think it's Radiant. I think it's like live something, but
Okay,
it'll
okay,
be
good.
streamed, I mean.
So people will be able to tune in. So you'll be able to like get a little pay-per-view version as well to tune in.
Yeah, you'll be able to check it out for sure.
So how do you think moving up in weight is going to impact your conditioning and you know what I'm saying your power? How do you think that's going to impact it?
Me personally, I think I'm gonna feel better. I mean, I cut a lot of weight, man. For my last fight, I was walking around 136, and I cut down to 112. So I'm not like a little 112 pounder, you know. So I think I honestly think I take away from my power a little bit by cutting so low. So I think it'll give me a little bit more power. I think I know I'm strong enough. I mean, I've sparred with some bigger guys and really good fighters. I don't know if you guys have heard of Eros Correa. Eros.
Yeah.
He's a really good fighter. Well, I think he fights 122, 118. I've sparred him before whenever I was in Vegas, and I mean, multiple people tell me, but he's like one that he's a good name that I remember. Like he's like, you fight at 112, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're fucking strong as hell. So, I know my power could carry, and I said, I think it might be even a little bit better. I'll be more hydrated, and So.
Hey, that's good.
Matt walks around kind of stocky, man. For real, you don't look like a flyweight when you meet him, man. His your walk around weight's kind of up there.
Yeah, like I said, 136, 137. I mean,
wow.
I get up there, but
you stay in shape though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I bet you. I know one thing Matt won't do. I bet you he won't have a whole bunch of extra accessories in his hair.
Hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, Matt's the best barber, bro. Him and barbershop. That's the best barbershop in town, man. But me and my son got some designs lately, man.
Hey, I'm hitting you up if I come through Albuquerque, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
I get it faded.
Yeah, we saw the work, man. We saw the work. Yeah, like I said, that's one thing that in our community. You know what I'm saying? Keep taking care of the crown is paramount.
Yes, sir.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Get it right.
I wanted.
I wish I could have helped my last opponent before our fight. I wish I could have helped him out.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to
I seen
ask
some
you.
dudes with some helmet head fighting on a couple of these stations. They just took the helmet off.
Hey man, I had a question and I have to ask it, bro. It comes from an anonymous person, somebody that you're friends with, you know what I mean, or he's just in the community, and there was a rivalry. You were gonna fight Abraham. Abraham's fighting on the 19th. I'm gonna be covering Legacy and I'm gonna be covering ICS. Everybody wants that fight in Albuquerque, man. And you want to talk about that was one of the most talked about. You guys are two of the best, at your weight class and your respective weight class in Albuquerque. Is it a possibility, man? If you get through both your opponents, you think that something could happen? Maybe some co-partnerships, just for some kind of big event at the pit, like how ICS is become. I'm thinking this could lead to something bigger, Matt. For Albuquerque.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it could, but everything has to make sense. And one of his interviews, he kind of, whatever happened to him. But one of his interviews, he was kind of saying he wasn't too interested in the fight with me. He also said it wouldn't do nothing for him, but I'm kind of like, that's the fight everyone wants to see. So
that
sounds like fighting words right there.
No, it sounded like he wanted to get his face massaged a little bit. Face massage feels good, bro. Don't you want a face massage? Come on, fam.
Yeah, I mean, we're like I said, we're
the
two
fight
top
streaming on Light Out Sports. I forgot to tell everybody because we're typing in the chat, but Light Out Sports to catch Matt's fight April 12th. Make sure if you're out of town, you want to catch the pay-per-view. If you're in Albuquerque, buy your tickets. They go on sale tomorrow.
Yeah, but that's something that could happen. Like I said, everything has to make sense. And hopefully we'll get to the fight this time. But right now I'm focused on Bowie. I'm focused on winning some fights at 115, and then like I said, as long as everything makes sense, 112 I can make it still. So we'll see what happens in the future. I mean, I'm glad he's recovered. I'm glad he's doing good. But just the way a lot of things happened that fight was I'd rather not even
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and that's why it was an anonymous too, because they know, you know what I mean.
So, no.
They told me they're like, don't mention my name, but you got to ask the hard question, and it ain't really a hard question.
It's not a hard question. We're fucking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to cuss. We're fighters, bro. It's not a hard
question.
question.
Skywalker, Walker, that was your question.
No.
It wasn't though. I got the phone call before the show started, man, and they just want to see. The fight fans want it, man. Albuquerque loves Matt, bro. They love Abraham. These two guys, man, like they're the future of the sport. Regardless, if there's and that's good that they that the teams don't like each other because it makes for a good fight, bro.
I don't have no bad feelings against Abraham and them. I don't. It's just the way things happen and his. There's more. I just rather not even get into the details. The details and stuff. No one. I mean, that's that's between me and him. Yeah. That's between me and his family, pretty much. But
yeah, you don't want to go. And you want to go forward, man. We want to see you go for a world title shot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I see Sean in the chat. He said, "Man, we ain't going backwards." And you guys already were at the plate for that. You made it all the way to I was ready. I was there at a press conference, and you found out. Remember, it was the day of the press at the gym meeting. So it was like 3 days before the fight. 3 days.
I found out Saturday, the week before.
The week before.
I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I found out. And man, I went through some shit. I did. It was a very stressful week. It was a very hard thing to go through, and I don't want to go through that shit again. But
man, that's crazy. Tim and Tim show here again with Matthew Griego, the Diamond Boy, holding it down for Albuquerque, New Mexico. Thank you all who have joined up. We see so many people in the chat. Shout out to all of you. We see you. We do appreciate you representing all that good stuff. Tim, it looked like you had something on your mind.
No, well, for some people that might not know who Matt is, I wanted to take it back to the beginning and, find out why you're a boxing barber.
Well, I mean, I started fighting when I was 5 years old. I think I've told that story before. My mom took me to the gym. I fell in love with the sport right away. I was actually for a 5-year-old kid, I was boxing in what is it called, smokers, so because I wasn't actually legal.
Yeah. Hey, remind him who trained you too. Tell Tim.
Well, when I first started, like I said, I was young, so I had to go on smokers. So I trained with Tony Rosales. He was my very first coach. He's a kickboxing coach, but I just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
throw hands, so I went in there and I did that. Um, and then once I turned 8, I wanted to become a USA boxing certified. So, and at the time, Tony Rosales wasn't involved in USA boxing.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to make the change, and we went to Richard Mirabal as my coach through the amateurs for a long time. I was with Richard from 8 to probably 16 around there. He took me a long way. 16, actually 17, because I went to Golden Gloves with Richard. I won regionals, went to nationals. I didn't win the tournament, but I went to nationals. I fought some tough
Mm-hmm.
dudes, and after that, I ended up for a little bit. I was at his gym for a while. Um, he passed away, and like I don't know. I was a teenager. I boxed all my life, so I took a little bit of a break and met friends, and I went out and I did my thing, and I met my partner. I met Jolene. She's gonna be my wife. I'll be getting married in July actually.
Okay.
Oh, congrats.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Congrats. Yeah,
Yeah.
But I
congrats,
met
man.
her, and her and my family included, they pushed me to get back into the gym. I mean, I had a talent for it, I had a love for it, and I missed it. And I got back to the gym, and that's when I went with Manuel Naya and I went with Fidel Maldonado. They were both my trainers. And turned pro, I went. Fidel Maldonado trained me until I would say my 10th fight, 10th or 11th. And then that's when COVID happened, pretty much. And my coach Manuel, he sent me to Vegas to go and train out there. Brian Mendoza actually opened the doors for me. Um, I went out there and trained for a while and learned a lot of new things, met a lot of good people, and um, it was time to come back. We actually had a baby on the way, so I had to get back home. And my wife, my future wife, gave birth to my daughter, and came back to New Mexico. I went back and forth a couple times, but Manuel and I actually stood with me, and we brought on Sergio Chavez, and he's my other coach, and he's he helps out a lot. He's a big part of our team. That between him and Manuel and I, my last camp was probably the best camp I've ever had.
Mm-hmm.
But and it's just been good since then. I love to fight, and the barbering part. Fidel Maldonado Jr. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's gonna be fighting soon too. He was cutting hair, and I've always kind of been like interested in it. I'd make up my own haircuts and tell my barber what to do, kind of pretty much. And that's Carlos Armijo. He's been my barber since I was like
Yeah.
12 years old or something. Um, and I was like, boxing, I need a schedule that could work with what I'm doing, and barbering was perfect. I could take off when I need to. I could, all that. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
really what worked out for me, and I'm good with my hands. I mean, so I think boxing and cutting kind of work in hand together as far as meeting people, and then like I say, I'm using my hands still. So
Carlos is a funny dude for sure. Hey, listen. Hey, to all our fellow boxers out there, y'all make sure y'all get some prenups and some non-disclosure agreements that
Oh,
say your old lady is not allowed to tell your business out in public. You feel me? Like I feel like that needs to be like some contractual obligations. People don't want to end up like Bevo out here.
so Ernest, what about putting all your money in your mom's name or something like that?
Hey, listen, if
How you
somebody's
feel
coming,
about that?
if somebody's coming to get it, you got to move it. You feel me? You gotta move it. But look, Matt, let me, just I wanted to piggyback off of something that we talked about before. The things that are occurring in the outside of boxing. How have you noticed an uptick or a difference in the opportunities that you have since your last victory? Is that translating to more opportunities provided for your community?
for my community, yes, like as far as meeting with people, talking to people, and I've always done that since I was real young. Like
Yeah.
um, my mom raised me to kind of have an open mind, and I'm always like going and talking to schools. I'm always going and doing that. I've done that since I turned pro. Like it's something that I always was interested in doing. So I was always going and talking to kids, but after that fight, it's like more people wanted me to go talk and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a blessing. It was a blessing after that fight. I just expected, um, I expected a lot more from that fight because of who I was going to fight and how it was going to be.
Yeah.
Being that my opponent fell out and, I broke my hand and I fought a dude that I should have beat. I mean, I thought I fought excellent for that fight as well, but it's just kind of like, hey, he beat a dude that he already beat, kind of. And I feel like some people were impressed and some people were just like, he should have beat him anyways. And I beat him with one hand. I mean, but either way, I thought I put on a great show. I met a lot of new people, and unfortunately, Top Rank didn't pick up the contract. Another unfortunate thing is, like, I broke my hand. The very next day, after the fight, I got a call to fight in Japan, and it would have been 3 months. It would have been 3 months later, and it would have been for a world title.
Wow.
My hand was broke.
Man, we really got to do a better job with, speaking positively on the opponents of the named fighters, because it doesn't do the sport any justice, because a lot of these guys are a lot tougher and a lot more skilled than what the media would portray or would let on to the audience. I think we got to do a better job of doing that. I think that's a solution for something like what you went through, because the dude you fought, man, he was in there with you for real.
Yeah, no, he's game. He's game.
Yeah.
I mean, he takes all calls. He fights anybody. He's
a good dude, man. I liked him after the post fight, man. I mean, he was such a nice guy. I was like, I kind of
respectful.
Yeah, and shout out to Vince. Vince came in, and that could be a possible future opponent. He might get a title shot against Wafu. They're in talks right now, negotiations with the African super flyweight. You know what I'm talking about? What's the name? Wafu, or you know what I'm talking about?
Kamikaze.
Yeah, so he's trying to make it to America. He's chasing the Diamond Boy.
Oh, I just seen that. Shout out Vince. Hell yeah.
Inspire us.
We sponsor him, man. He's a good guy, man, and he's got a different style than yours. It would make for a great fight. You know what I'm saying?
Most fighters are good guys, bro.
Yeah.
Kamikaze. Jay Vince.
He's out of his contract in October, so he's willing to try to make it out here to get that fight going. You know what I mean? He's still high in the rankings at flyweight. Hey Vince, he goes, I'll fight you soon in America's soil. He.
I know he wants to get over here, to fight.
Heck yeah. That'll be a good one, man. Some more tricks out of my bag, more tools out of the bag, bro. Because he's a tough competitor. He's a real competitor,
Yeah.
And Matt, in relation to sort of that Top Rank thing, and you fighting on there, and then the whole contract thing. So apparently, and I'm wondering if it had something to do with it. Apparently, their deal with ESPN is up, I believe, in November of this year. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be looking for a new home. So I'm wondering if that may have potentially had something to do with it, and them just kind of weighing the options as far as what's going to be next for them from a network perspective. Yeah,
it could have, but like I said, Brad Goodman, from what he said, it's pretty much the weight division. My weight division is hard to make fights, and there's not a lot of money involved, and to be honest, I think my weight division is one of the most exciting weight divisions to watch.
It is.
But there's not a lot of fighters here in the U.S., so it's costing the promoters a lot to bring fighters from overseas or from different places like that. So I understand that. I just think I don't got a lot of time. I don't have a lot of time. I'm getting up there. I mean, I'm 28, but I need the opportunities now, and it's kind of something that I was talking about. I went through some stuff after that fight. Like, things didn't work out the way I thought they were, and I had a tough time for a little bit.
All right, and I know you with this one, you were moving to 115. From your perspective, do you view it as a permanent move here to 115?
For the most part, like I said, though, like if the right opportunity presents itself, I mean, I'm open to anything. I mean, it just has to be the right opportunity, and it has to be worth it.
No, good to go. Good. Yeah, there's a lot of talent at 115 as well. All of those lower weights are very exciting. And it's a shame that we don't get to see more of those matchups here on some of the networks and things of that nature.
Yep.
Guys, I'm sorry to cut it short this week. I pre-warned you that I had to get some work done. Plus, I got to train tomorrow. So I'll catch you guys next week. And Skywalker, we'll talk and complete some of that other work, guys. Have a good one. Keep up the good work. Matt, good luck on your fight.
Appreciate it, bro.
I know you're gonna do good. I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Tim. Tim Witherspoon Jr. in the mix there. Appreciate you there, buddy. Thank you to all who are in here right now. Again, we are with Matthew Diamond Boy Griego. You saw him on ESPN last year. And hey, looking forward to big things for 2025. He has a fight coming up. So thank you to all that are in the chat right there. See Vince Farras, hey, he's ready to go. he's dropping names and everything. He's ready.
Vince a link real quick. See,
hey, man, I need another lechon.
Send Vince a link if he wants to. Hey, Vince, you can hop in, man. He said, "Happy Ramadan." Yeah.
Oh, yeah, happy Ramadan. Yeah, happy Ramadan. Salute out there to everyone.
He said, contact his manager, JC. Add him on Facebook. Price is right. I'm fighting American soil, mi amigo. But yeah, man, out here it'd be a way better opportunity than what he has been getting. You know what I'm saying, for the fights. You know what I'm saying.
Getting out here, period.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's Albuquerque is surprisingly a fight city that should be more on the map than what it is, to be honest. Like, there's just too many different types of fighters that all live in that city. Skywalker sent me a video of an old man going to work. he put a kid in that Dakistani tie and went to work on him. An old dude, a bum hobo. I was like, man, Albuquerque needs some more love, man. So
we have some good fighters, man.
Yeah.
So what do you know much about your upcoming opponent, or
Well, I kind of had to find him personally myself. Like, the promotion told me, hey, because at first I was trying to get on the card. Like, my buddy Brian Mendoza, shout out to him again. He's always showing love, bro. He's from Albuquerque. He lives in Vegas. He became an interim world champ, and he's always showing love. He's the one who told me, hey, reach out to this guy, try to get on this card. I know you sell tickets, and I told him you're a badass. So so I reached out and I said, hey, bro, is there any room on the card or whatever? And they told me at first, like, hey, the card's full. So I was like, cool, not meant to be. I went to their press conference. I met him personally, and same thing. The card's full, but we would have loved to have you on. Maybe next time when we come again. And then the very next morning, I don't know like what changed or what, but he messaged me on Instagram and was like, hey, bro, we have room for you on the card. We just got to find an opponent or whatever. And I was like, well, you guys find it? Or he said, well, if your team wants to help, they could help. So I kind of already had Bowie in mind already, because before the Abraham fight, before I was supposed to fight Abraham, they had reached out to me. I don't know if you guys heard of Red Owl Promotion. Red Owl,
Houston, H-Town.
Yeah, Houston, Texas. Yeah, they were looking for a fighter for him, and I was like, hey, I'll fight him. He, it was his hometown. It was going to be on DAZN, and I was like, I'm looking for a fight. I'll fight him. And at first they said, okay, let's do it, and then out of nowhere they just said that they didn't accept the fight. So we had talked about it at that time, and it didn't happen. He was undefeated at that time as well. So I mean, I had the opportunity to reach out, and I had Carlos Armijo. Carlos Armijo actually reached out to him, and shout out to Carlos. That's how we kind of made it happen. They turned it down at first, but he started working with ICS, and then they accepted it. So,
man, Carlos is funny, man. Somebody said Carlos liked the Temu fishnet shirts.
So this card's a trip, bro. You got Fernando Vargas Jr. You got Rampage Jackson. I mean, the whole card's got some interesting fights on it, man. You know what I mean? You got both the Tapia sons on the card too, Johnny Tapia Jr. and his other son. So yeah, man, it's an interesting card.
It's gonna be a pretty cool card. It's gonna be cool. I hope Albuquerque shows out, and I hope a lot of people show up.
So like what? So for your market, like what type of marketing do you guys do to get fights hype out there? So, I mean, since it's being a fight city, do you have to just go to the gyms? I mean, do you guys connect with the college students? Like, how do you handle your marketing for the city? Radio,
we get on some radio. I've been on a couple radio stations. You know, we've been on the news stations. You know, my family does a really good job. Like, I gotta give a big shout out to my family because
Your
we do a really
sister,
good job. We know a lot of people. Like,
your
we know a
sisters
lot of
are
people,
heavy.
and it's kind of just mostly word of mouth. But like I said, we do the news, we do the Facebook stuff, the Instagram stuff, and I try to go out. I mean, I've been to shows where I paid to sell my merchandise at different lowrider shows and stuff like that. I always try to show up and show out, and you know, that's pretty much it. You know, I have a merchandiser as well, where he's kind of connected in with the Lobos, and he's connected in with a lot of athletes, where he helps me out. He puts me on ESPN, you know, stuff like that, ESPN radio, and so it helps out. All that, you know, helps out, and I believe like I'm a pretty decent talker as well, so I think that helps us a lot too, because some fighters can get out there and they don't even know what to say, man, and I'm just like, you kind of have to have that to get people to show up.
Could you imagine having a raffle at the Lobos game, whereas you know tickets to your fight were available?
Yeah, that's a real good idea. That's a
Hey,
real good idea.
hey.
It's a real good idea.
Yeah, you do an amazing job with marketing yourself, man. As far as putting you on the ICS card, you're gonna sell. I think the majority of the tickets. Brian Mendoza too, being on the card. You know what I'm saying? All the talent, man. Is
I sell, man. I do pretty good for I do pretty good for myself here as far as the people we get to go to the fights. So that's part of the reason. Like I said, Brian Mendoza told them, like, you know, this guy will sell some tickets, so you got to get him on the show.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. And hey, Albuquerque is a fight town. And what date was it again? Was it April?
April 12th.
April 12th? Okay.
April 12th. I'll actually be turning 29 the very next week.
Oh, dang. Hey, getting married. You turning 29 here. Congrats. Yeah,
Thank you,
you
bro.
know, good stuff right there. Early happy birthday
Like
for
an
sure.
NBA. Don't, baby, better not tell none of my business. I ain't playing with you. Man, you know, let me ask you something real light, man. Like, I mean, do people come into the barbershop and maybe not know that you're a boxer? Have you ever had
all the time?
Oh, yeah.
All the time, bro. I have people go in there and I cut their hair, and like, I'm not like how do I say it? I'm not like a loud mouth, or like where I'm like, oh, I'm a fighter, and then I do the whole. I'll be cutting people's hair for a week sometimes. Like, they become my new client, and I'm cutting their hair multiple times, and they're like, wait, you're a fighter? I'm like, yeah, I'm a fighter, and you know, and then it goes from there. I don't brag or boast. It happens to come, but it's funny because I'll be cutting their hair for weeks and they don't even understand it.
Yeah, that's
Hey, you know, I would love that because of the fact that usually in some barbershops, you know, they don't really know about boxing like that. So, man, if I could come there all the time, then that'd be a sweet thing right there.
Bro, sometimes I'm in camp and I'm like cutting weight, and I'm already like, you know, at the end of the cutting weight, you're already frustrated and you're a little pissed off, and like the last thing I want to hear about is boxing sometimes. And I'm like, bro, I go in there and I'm like, Carlos, like, I love you, bro, but right now I'm just like, I don't want to talk about boxing. I'm just, I'm feeling it right now.
Hey, you know, man, you know, Carlos trying to be an apprentice for Oscar. Oscar De La Hoya apprentice.
That's a trip right there. No, yeah, and I think you might have shared some of that before in terms of like on the outside. Of course, I know you got to be busy. You probably don't have a ton of free time, but what do you do like some of your extra time? Maybe some extracurricular type of activities or hobbies you might have.
Spend time with my kids, bro.
Okay,
that's everything for me. You know, I have. My daughter's 3. She just turned 3, and I have my son. He's a year and a half. He's they keep us busy, so all my time off, like, that's really that's my time. That's my precious time right there, and I don't have a lot of it, so it's yeah, that's important to me. That's actually like I said, I was going through some things after my last fight. I almost said I didn't want to fight again. You know.
Vince!
Hey, this is a different kind of conversation than when I took my son to go get his haircut from you, huh? How things change like that, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, like
remember,
it's not
you were
about.
telling me. I was like, man, when you any announcements? I always hit you up and ask you every time I see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going through it a little bit, bro. Like I said, I mean, boxing is one of the most, I think, depressing sports there is, and yeah, I just feel like fighters work so hard, and there's no guarantees for nothing. It's most likely you're not gonna make it, if anything, you know. And you just got to keep pushing through all those roadblocks, and things happen, and on to the next, and on to the next, and on to the next. And it's like sometimes you feel like you're working for nothing, and then something happens, and you feel good again, and then you're on top of the world, and then it gets taken from you again, and it's
Yeah.
like what the hell am I doing this for? And then it's just all those questions. Any fighter that says that they don't have those thoughts in their head, sometimes they're probably lying, or everything's working perfect for them. But um boxing's a very, very hard sport, mentally and physically. And then, like I said, like you were saying, I have babies now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just about me, bro. It's like I'm doing this for them, and if it ain't gonna do anything for them, then it's what the hell am I doing it for, kind of, for my own, I understand my own dreams, but like I'm saying, like, my babies are everything now. So
Hey, no, that's good stuff right there. And yeah, I can only imagine from a fighter's perspective. I have like a small semblance of what you're saying there, Matthew, from this perspective of, so I officiate on the amateur side. And I'm with the board here as far as the amateur boxing that takes place in DC, and then a couple of counties in Maryland with our local boxing committee or whatnot. But you're absolutely right. The sport in itself can be crazy on that back end side, the stuff that people don't see. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's like, I look back because I started in late 2015. I signed up to officiate and all that stuff. And sometimes I look at myself now, I'm just like, what the hell did I get myself into? Because you just deal
yeah,
with so many different personalities and things. So that can certainly weigh on you right there. So I'd imagine it takes a lot, definitely from a fighter's perspective, and what all goes into it, and some of the ups, downs, letdowns, and all of that stuff, man. So definitely feel for you there, and that's why we look to try and support as best we can, because that fighter grind is something serious for sure.
bro. It's different, especially like I said, when you have a family you have to support too. I mean, we don't make a lot of money until we do.
Yeah.
We don't make a lot of money until we do. So, like, I cut hair. I mean, I go to the gym in the morning, bright and early. I go to work. I go to the gym at night. I come home. It's already kind of late. I have maybe an hour to play with my kids, uh, and then I go to bed. Repeat the next morning, and like, it's a lot. It's a lot that we go through, and the work we have to put in. And like I said, especially trying to support your babies. And I mean, thank God my wife works her butt off too, and she
Mhm.
supports me in everything I do. I have a amazing person behind me, because I wouldn't be able to do this without her, honestly.
Yeah, man, definitely take a team. And speaking of wife, man, can we just give a stop for a moment and give a shout out to all the women out there? This is Women's Month, and
Yes,
we
sir.
definitely love to give the women their flowers right now, tomorrow, next day, in the morning, whenever we want to give them to them right now. So just way to shout your old lady out. Hey, Dana White, he got his paws in there. He about to be elbows deep in there, man. So there might be some opportunities popping up,
Yeah,
through the Dana White route. I
I gotta
think,
send him a video or something.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one thing they do is they put cheeks and seats,
Oh
um,
yeah, and the thing
every
about it too
time.
is like UFC in Albuquerque is big. We got John
Oh
Jones.
yeah.
We got Rampage Jackson used to train here. I mean, all these guys that were from here. Maybe he'll come and check out some fighters here. And hey, Dana White, give us a shot, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's one of the things I think about when I think about Albuquerque, and the mention that people have mentioned here, of being a fight town. No doubt about it, because I always heard about it from an MMA perspective as well. And then even when you date back in history, we think about Bob Foster and the likes. Yeah, Albuquerque, I guess New Mexico in general, but certainly Albuquerque, one of the premier fight towns, really, when you look at it historically.
Oh yeah.
I'm from El Paso, and they were hyping it up out there when I went to go cover Andreas Reyes fight. And I'm from El Paso originally too, but I'm kind of convinced Albuquerque is more, because I'm at all the gyms. I'm in all these different gyms, and I know the city pretty good. But Albuquerque definitely takes the cake, man. It's a different level out here.
Well, yeah, no,
The altitude too, man. I mean, a lot of
Yeah.
fighters come out here just to train. Like the altitude out here is great. So
oh yeah, I imagine. Yeah, I imagine that's pretty interesting for some. Who come and they end up in one of those situations where they're trying to get used to and acclimated to being in a different type of elevation or whatnot. So that's pretty interesting. Now, do you feel like? Can you tell the difference when you're like in a different place? Do you feel like you have
oh
more
yeah.
energy?
Well, let me tell you a story. So like I said, whenever I first moved to Vegas for a little bit, I
Mm-hmm.
went out there and I was running miles like it was nothing. I was like, this is cake. Well, I trained out there for my camp, and it was my camp when I fought Gilberto Mendoza for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I trained out there, and I thought, like, because I was running the mountains out there, so I was like, well, the altitude's not going to affect me. I'm good. So we came literally like the day of weigh-ins, and my trainer out there that came with me, Fernando Diaz, he came and he didn't know how high it was, and so for the fight, I got winded, bro. Like I didn't, I didn't accumulate or whatever, and I got winded for that first fight. I mean, I won. I pulled it off. I thought I dominated either way, but still, I did get tired. And um, afterwards, he was like, "How high are you guys out here?" I was like, "It's like 6,000. We're like 6,000 elevation." And he was like, "We should have came out here a week early. Like
Mm-hmm.
you didn't, and I didn't." So that was like a perfect example of how it is out here. So
Let me. I got a question about like motivation, right? You've been in the game for a long time since you were 5. How have you managed to? Do you find something new and something different to work on now? I mean, are you still looking for challenges as far as different methods of exercising, different methods of getting stronger? Delivering systems and things like that. Are you still?
I think the day you stop learning in boxing is the day you need to get out. Um, so yeah, you gotta continue to learn and grow, and like I gotta give a big shout out too to my strength and conditioning coach Leroy Bazan. For most of my career, I didn't have a strength and conditioning coach. It was just kind of like you do your boxing and then you do your sit ups and push ups and pull ups and all that shit afterwards. And
Mm-hmm.
I met Leroy Bazan, I want to say 3 years ago, and I always tell him, man, you changed my life because he's gotten me stronger. He's taught me about my body. He's taught me about my weight cut. He's made things so much easier on me. And I got to give a huge shout out to him because I'm still learning with him. I'm still learning about my body. I'm still learning different techniques to be stronger and throw better punches. Um, and obviously with my whole team, like I said, you stop growing, you stop learning, well, you should get out. Because you never. I always say you can't be a know-it-all in boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You
Leroy's
can't be a
doing
know-it-all in
something right,
boxing.
man. Leroy's the man, bro. All his fighters are tough, strong, and winning. He's got
Always winning, bro.
yeah,
He's that, and Leroy's the one in the corner. Like he doesn't go and take pictures with everybody. He doesn't go and like, he's that one in the corner. You see him in the corner, but like, who's this guy? And we're all winning, bro. And it's obviously because of our boxing too, but that strength and conditioning coach is playing a big factor back there. So big shout out to him. But yeah, once you stop learning, you got to get out because you
Mm-hmm.
can't be a know-it-all. Some people think, oh, I know it all, and I'm not going to learn from nobody. Well, good luck. Um, you better be willing to keep on learning from anybody. I don't care if they've been boxing for a year. Like you can learn something from anyone, and I always keep an open mind and try new tricks and do different things that I see because I don't ever want to stop growing. And the day I do, like I said, I'll get out.
No, that's awesome. No, that's the right mentality to have right there, and we need that in the sport in itself, especially when you think about it. The long history in boxing has been around for a long period of time. So you're right. There's so much you can learn something new every day, just as it relates to some of the people involved, the history of it, and all that stuff. I'm gonna send you some old school history. I like to look at some of the old school stuff, late 1800s, early 1900s. I'm gonna send you some videos. They're gonna be in black and white. Some of them maybe no sound or whatnot, but it could be some little motivation there for you because you're in a weight
Hey,
class, like I said, that people need to be seeing. Super flies, flyweights, all of this stuff. The history of these weight classes. I mean, amazing fighters that have competed.
appreciate that, bro.
I showed
Some of the
Josh
best, like
the
I
Bob
said.
Foster Museum. I showed him that Bob Foster Museum for
Oh
Ben
yeah,
Oh
Wilson.
yeah,
Yeah, he liked that, and that's one of your main sponsors right there. Shout out to Ben
Oh yeah,
Wilson. Too,
shout
man.
out to Ben Wilson. That's my man right there. He's actually another one that uh. So the main promoter on the show, his name's Gary Lewis, and my Ben Wilson. You know, he's my attorney too. But he was there, and I told him how I'm trying to get on the card or whatever. Well, he went and sat right next to Gary Lewis, and you know, spoke some words to him. So he's part of the reason I'm on this card as well. You know, big
Yeah,
shout out to Ben Wilson, man.
he hit me up and asked me, "How do we get Vince here?" You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's trying to get Vince out here to Albuquerque.
Hey, y'all better watch out for Vince. I'm gonna teach him how to cook. I'm gonna show him how to deliver these American jokes. Be like, yeah, man, just make sure your mama wear that shirt I autographed for after I get done beating on you. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have Vince ready to go, man. He gonna be ready. He gonna be talking trash and everything. No, man, Vince is a lovable guy, man. He's a cool dude.
That's all I get from him, bro. That's all I get from him.
He's a cool dude, but he can scrap. You know
I think we're both very similar as far as like the personality and the outgoing, and you know, he seems like a cool dude. I would love to scrap with him, and then maybe we could have a drink together afterwards or something.
We just got to make sure he don't try to hug none of the ring girls over here in the States, because they ain't going for all that.
He tries to hug him.
We're not going for that over here, fam. We're gonna have to give you some media training and everything. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Here in Albuquerque, they might, bro. You might get one.
I was gonna have him hop on, but he's in a bad area. You want to talk about, like, you know, how we have the res, you know, out where my wife's from, you know, outside Albuquerque, where they don't have a lot of, you know, like that's how Vince is, man. They don't have internet sometimes. They deal with earthquakes and typhoons, and he's in a bad spot, man, out there. He needs to come out here.
He's gonna be distracted just like Kagai was. You know, he'd be like, "Whoa!"
But no, that's good stuff. Again, Tim and Tim show here with Matthew Diamond Boy Griego. We're almost at the top of the hour. Hey, we appreciate everyone that's dropped by. Hey, Matt, I had a question, and it's something I've always thought about in some capacity, and of course, you'd be good to answer it. Just thinking about it from the perspective of, or at least from your view, in terms of, like, of course, we know this is prize fighting. You're fighting in the game to make money. You know what I'm saying? How important is that sort of activity aspect? Because you get the sense that some fighters, hey, they don't fight often, and they don't seem to be fazed by it, or they're like, you know, like itching, it seems, or maybe it's just a matter of reaching a certain status and you're like that. But I also get the sense from some, and this is just from some of the boxers I'm around and all that stuff, just how important the activity is. And of course, you know how it is yourself being a boxer, and sometimes getting those fights. And some people who claim that they want to fight and all that stuff, once you reach out to them, of course, the tune changes and all that stuff. But like from an activity perspective, I'd imagine, is it important for you, like, to be super active in terms of just actual fights?
Bro, I'm the perfect person for that question. Because if you look at my box rec, my activity hasn't been very active. But like I said, a lot of it has to do with the weight division. A lot of it has to do with not the right opportunities or whatever. But yes, I think it's very important to stay active, because you have to keep feeling how those little gloves feel when you're getting hit and you know, under the lights, and it's showtime, and you know, all that experience is so important. And it's hard when you're not getting it, and not getting it consistently, because you got these other guys that are getting that consistently.
Yeah.
And you know, I like to say I stay sharp either way, but it's so different. A fight and sparring, a fight and in the gym, like, you can't compare the two. So I think that's very important, and I think that should be the goal for all fighters, is to stay busy. But it's a lot easier said than done, I guess. So,
man, Josh, we had an example of that last night. Joed Gonzalez, when he was interviewed, he said, "Listen, man, just because you guys don't see me doesn't mean I'm not actually working." He said he's 5 days a week, he's in the gym, and on Saturdays and Sundays he's lifting, even if he's not fighting. And it being a lifestyle is one of the reasons why we recommend people that come from impoverished areas with high crime, to actually get into fighting, because it can give you that structure and that discipline to be able to, you know, stay out of bad things and keep yourself clean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta stay in
So
the gym, and like I was saying too, like so I took like I would say I took like a month and a half. No, I took like 2 months off of boxing gym, and that's when I was telling you guys like I was kind of going through some stuff and kind of
Mm-hmm.
I was just questioning everything, you know, and even though I wasn't in the boxing gym, I was still seeing Leroy, my strength and conditioning coach. I was still running. I was still doing all that. I just wasn't in the boxing gym. I just needed to get away from uh boxing for a second in itself. But I kind of I kind of knew I was gonna come back and fight, but it was just kind of at the time I was like I just need to step away and you know what's the word, like gather myself. I guess I just needed to gather myself and
Mm-hmm.
before I slipped into something, you know, I don't want to say depression, but I guess that's kind of a word that you could use.
that's okay, man. Listen, the depression and some, you know, these things that we try to normalize mental health and psychology on this channel. We ask about people who are seeing sports psychologists or people who are just getting therapy in general because we're, you know, all of us are vets and you know we've been through some things that were traumatic in life and we have to figure out how to you know deal with it and blend into society because we're not the same as everybody else. We think a little different. We're a little bit more alert. You know what I mean? So it's okay. It's okay to talk about it. You know, depression. You know, I think it should be normalized.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Should be normalized. We should be able to have these conversations with each other and not feel like we soft. You know what I mean? It's just you got to get that emotion off of you before you go and do something to somebody else. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, you're
Basically.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. Yeah,
We'll
it's
see if
just
that psychology works for Zarafa. He fights tomorrow. Zarafa just came on the show. Michael Zarafa, Australian, and he talked about he's been getting that kind of help and he feels totally different, very confident, bro. Like so, yeah. I was surprised at the confidence in this fight, man, compared to when he lost to Lara. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
I think in boxing, like I think most fighters go through this shit. You know, it's a very lonely sport, bro, and it's tough.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. No, hey, we commend you, you know, going through that process. One of the things, you know, I was talking about the history and all that stuff. And like even dating back to the beginning of boxing in terms of with the gloves, the bare knuckle, and all that stuff. One thing is, it's always one of those stories of a lot of people. They just see the lights; they don't see what happens after the fight is over. You know, and that's tough stuff, especially in when a fighter's done as well, because you only have a real short window. So that is something that you know all fans of the sport everyone should keep in mind, you know, just when thinking about these fighters that are going out there, especially pursuing that goal of getting that world championship status, which is not the case for everyone. So there are some boxers out there, of course, they're going to be fine. They're going to be opponents and all that stuff. But when you're trying to get to that world championship status, man, yeah, that can be a crazy road right there. And, you know, a lot of your good years, you know, you can spend just fighting, doing your thing. You're still just waiting on that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we do, bro. Like I was saying, like as far as boxing, we work so hard, and like I was telling this to one of my friends, like you know the thing that's hard about it is like I see a lot of these fighters that I know and that were really good fighters, and
Mm-hmm.
they're from here, and they just you know they didn't get that title, they didn't make great money, and like now they're kind of there's a lot of them that are on the streets. There's a lot of them who are just living day to day, are struggling, and like not only with their like some of them are a little bit messed up in the head too, but I'm just saying as far as their well-being and being able to take care of their family, and a lot of most fighters that shoot for it and give it their all, and they don't do it, like they're not doing great afterwards. they
Yeah.
don't they don't know what to do with their lives. They're in a place where boxing kind of messed them up a little bit, you know, and like a lot of people don't talk about that. Like that's what makes
Mm-hmm.
it so hard is like to keep on going whenever like you see all these people around you that work so hard and were really talented and just didn't get there, and they're struggling in life now, and like that's just one thing I like. I don't want to struggle, bro. I don't want my kids to struggle because of a dream that I had, you know. So I just try to keep my head on good and like be
Yeah.
smart about decisions I make, and I
Mm-hmm.
have a good career where I could provide, and like I just want something to show from this, you know. of course, we all want world titles. We all want world titles, but I want something to show from it. I want to be able to have things and give my kids a good life and like
benefit
Oh, yeah.
from yeah.
you know. So I think that's one of the things that makes it the hardest is like it's if you don't make it, it's gonna be tough.
So what I mean, you know, there could be a Matt Griego documentary out there. You know, why not put something out about yourself while you're able to do it and you're able to be clear minded about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
Why not put something out and put some information out there while you're clear minded?
Yeah, you're right. I was talking to my cousin about this because, like I said, when I was going through my situation, I was talking to certain people and that I love, and my cousin was telling me, bro, your name's hot right now.
Yeah.
Like even if you didn't want to fight again, like you got to do something because there's money on your name right now where you could provide and you could do something to feed your
Open up a
family.
business with your name on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he's like, your name's hot right now. Don't let that go to waste. Like, so
Definitely.
I think I got the right people around me. You know, my family, like they love me very much, and my woman, she's a very smart person, and like I'll have something to show for all this afterwards when it's all said and done.
Is there some sort of boxing insurance program? Because I'm pretty sure the Hall of Fame doesn't give you guys checks and stuff after if you guys make it or not. But
The
is there
WBC
some sort of
does
boxing
something.
insurance?
I mean, if there is, it's not talked about enough because let's put that out there. If there is
Hey,
one,
that might
somebody,
be an industry to get into right there. You know what I'm saying? Somebody start up some sort of insurance company that deals with boxing or fighting in general. Because I feel as though, you know, I feel like, you know, anything could happen at any given moment. You could get hit in the back of the head and be paralyzed, things like that. I feel like there should be something that's there to, you know, soften the fall.
Yeah,
You know, if it's necessary.
That's very important. Even if you were just like you work so hard and like you said, like I said, you don't make it. Like you have something to fall back on. As long as you're putting that monthly payment into that insurance, you know, there's you'll have something to fall back on to be able to take care of yourself and your family. Like that's a very good idea. If that's not out there, like
hey man, I generate ideas like that. Man,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
I will say there has been a conversation, and it's been a conversation for a good period, you know, because unlike some of the more team sports, I guess you can say, in leagues that are out there, with boxing is usually left to the individual, you know, and that can be something in itself right there, just leaving it to the individual when you have these promoters. And there's a question, should the promoters, I know they have event coverage, their insurance for that particular event, but when you're tied to these promoters, you know, insurance being involved, because at the end of the day, it is the boxers that are going out there putting their lives on the line when you think about it.
Yeah. Because I don't want to mention anybody's names, but I feel like there was this fighter who got injured, and it seems as that person wasn't able to cover their own medical bill, and someone else had to actually get in there and foot the medical bill just for them to be able to participate again. And I think that's wild. You know, to be at the top of your sport like that, you maybe need a rotator cuff surgery or, you know what I mean, something like that, and then you just you can't afford it. I think that's a bad spot to be in.
there's a promoter here in Albuquerque actually. I don't even know if he lives here anymore. I think he lives in like Hawaii. I don't know. You guys, I know you probably heard of him, Skywalker. Lenny Fresquez.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering the story right, one of my buddies, he got hurt in a fight, and I think he had a brain bleed or something where he got hurt in the fight, and Lenny Fresquez, I don't think he was the one that even threw the card. But he went to the hospital and he told them whatever you need to do, take care of it, and I got it pretty much. And I'm pretty sure that's the story. I'm pretty sure, like, I don't think I'm making a mistake. If I am, I apologize. But he went and he took care of he told them whatever he needs, you take care of it. And, you know, boxing needs more people like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, that's good stuff right there. No, we appreciate you, you know, sharing this information. Hey, and at the end of the day, of course, Matt, you know, we're in your corner 100%. The people listening and watching right now are in your corner 100%. Matt Diamond Boy Griego,
He hangs on my wall.
Was that right there?
He hangs on my wall right there.
Okay, look at that. Hey, that's love right there. That's love for sure.
I got a lot of Diamond Boy merch.
And Matt, again, what's like your IG for people to follow you?
It's Matt _the boxer.
Matt _the boxer. Matt _ the boxer, folks. I'm gonna drop that in the chat as well.
Pro Say.
And hey, we appreciate you so much.
You know what? I made a mistake. I think it's Diamond Boy it's Diamond Boy _ the boxer.
Okay, good to go. Good to go. Hey, there's so many social media platforms out there. Hey, I feel you.
Well, no, I changed it. It used to be Matt the Boxer, and then as I got older, I changed it.
Okay, Diamond Boy _ the boxer.
Yeah, Diamond Boy _ the boxer.
Okay. Diamond Boy _ the boxer. There's only one Diamond Boy, at least one I know of, and that's Matt Griego over there for sure.
Yeah, there used to be a heavyweight.
Oh yeah,
there used to be a heavyweight. I kind of found that out after
right,
I got the nickname, but that's all right.
Hey, no. There's only one Matt Diamond Boy Griego. Let's say that right there for sure. So salute to Al Rahim out there, Pro Say Boxing. Salute there to your Pro Say. Remy, everyone's dropping in and all that stuff. Man, this has been amazing right here. We're getting in-depth analysis, in-depth stuff right here, man. We appreciate you sharing your story, what's going on with you there, Matt, man. It's been a pleasure, 100%, man. And we know, hey, time is precious for you for sure. But, man, we appreciate it wholeheartedly, you taking the time to come on and share some love there with us.
I appreciate you guys for having me, man. It means a lot.
No, no problem at all. No problem at all. Hey, and for everybody that came through, we appreciate you all as well. Be sure to go check out at Diamond Boy the Boxer. Be sure to like and subscribe, all that are involved here. You know, hey, we're gonna be coming to you weekly. So this is not the end of the road for us, folks. But we appreciate everyone who tuned in for us. And once again, follow Matt Griego, because beautiful things will definitely happen here. Hey, it's gonna happen. It's destined there, Matt. It is 100% destined.
Appreciate it, bro. It means a lot.
All right, folks. We'll get back with you here.
God bless you guys. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, have a good night. Thank you, everybody.